Hi, this is Jason Garner, and today I'm going to hopefully begin the start of many tutorials, technically speaking, regarding helpful hints for you, the songwriter. In this case, converting a song, a WAV file, audio file, to an MP3. This comes up time and time and again when I'm working with different songwriters that are asking how to convert their files or asking me to convert their files. And this happens also specifically with regards to song competitions. American Idol is a perfect example where people have worked on songs with me and then needed to turn around and convert them into a format that can be submitted, sometimes as small as 5 megabytes. Well, what we're going to find is that within the realm of iTunes, which is what I use all the time for file conversion, they have a really easy method of converting files from WAV files to AIFFs to MP3s to AAC, just whatever you need. And so what I'm going to do is step you through the process of doing that. Today I'm using the song Mama's Cookbook, which we did, as you can see here, back in June 23rd, written by my friends Ingrid Cooper and Gabe Staniker. And it is currently a WAV audio file. And let's take a look and see the size of that file, just so we can get into perspective on what we're going to do and the size we're going to reduce it to. So right now, if you click on Apple I, which is a shortcut for Get Info, let me back up and so you can see the menu. Up here under File, if you want to see information about the file that I've got highlighted, you click Get Info. The shortcut for that was, in fact, Apple I on your Macintosh computer, if you're familiar with that. As you can see here, that gives you all sorts of information, and one in particular is the size of the file. It is 52.9 megabytes, and we're going to reduce that. We're going to try to scale that down, even down to 1/10 of this size, less than 5 megabytes. And I'm going to walk you through the process of doing that. The reason we do this is 50 megabytes is actually a pretty big size of a file to send through email if you've ever tried to do that. MP3s have been so convenient because they are so much smaller. So let's do that now. I've already I've highlighted the song I'm working on. I'm clicking on iTunes now, the iTunes menu in the upper left, and then I'm going to go down to Preferences. Click on that, and you're going to see a bunch of different menu options up here at the top. You can scroll as I'm jumping around just to show you briefly what's in them. The one we're most interested in today falls under the General tab, and it's this button right here. Towards the bottom, you're going to find a question that says, when you insert a CD, it wants to know what you're going to do with it. In this case, I've got asked to import CD. Obviously, we've already got the song in our iTunes. We're not doing anything with a CD. However, what we're about to do will impact what happens when you pop CDs in your computer and it asks you to import them. What we're going to do will determine, in fact, how those files are stored on your computer. So right next to that little pull-down menu is a button that says Import Settings. Click on that. Now, the next thing you see is a couple of pull-down menus. One that we've already got selected is MP3, which is what I'm using right now. But if you click on that, you'll see you've got choices. You've got an AAC encoder. You've got AIFF encoder. Some of you may already be familiar with AIFFs as another format for audio files. Apple lossless encoder is a Apple proprietary method of encoding audio. MP3, which all of you should be familiar with, and then WAV, which is actually a WAV file, although they've dropped the E, so you could call it a WAV file, which would just sound kind of silly to me. But anyway, we've got MP3 selected, and then below that, the setting pull-down menu. You've got 3 selections right now. You've got 128 kilobits per second, which is what KBPS stand for. I'm sure you could come up with some other fun acronym if you want to confuse your friends and family, but we are going to say the technically correct kilobits per second. Next is 160 kilobits per second. Next is 192 kilobits per second. But if you also click on the word custom, see what pulls up, another menu comes up. This gives you even further chances to totally destroy the sound of your audio by reducing it to 16 kilobits per second or maximizing it. For those of you that get files from me all the time, I've got it selected for 320 kilobits per second. That's my default. It's the highest bit rate I can get on iTunes right now, but it allows me the highest quality audio still within an MP3. But for the case of our demonstration, let's reduce it down to 128 kilobits per second. Some of you guys may already have it set up with that. I'm not going to mess with any of this other stuff. Leave it the same. Don't click on any of that and then hit OK. and then hit OK again, and then OK one more time to get us totally out of the preferences menu. Click. All right. Now, if we don't have the song highlighted, you're not going to be able to do anything with it. What we're concerned about is this advanced menu, and we want to get right here where it says create MP3 version. You'll see that it's kind of a dull gray, and I can't click on it. Well, as soon as I highlight the song, click on it with the mouse, then scroll down under advanced, you'll find create MP3 version. Now, if we had selected one of those other formats like AIFF or WAV file, you would have seen that it would say WAV right here instead of MP3, or AIFF or instead of MP3. So let's click on that. See that it actually gives you the dialog up there said it was converting. Now, it actually bounced it out to my main music library, and I'm going to flip over to that, and I'm going to create a new playlist with, excuse me, let me back that up. I messed that up. New playlist right here from selection, so we don't have to look at all those other files I've got in my computer. You guys are so much more organized than me. I'm sure you wouldn't have anything in your main library like that, right? All right, so this is the MP3 version of the song. I've highlighted it. You can tell it's an MP3 because it has under the column kind, it says MPEG, which is the same thing as MP3. Let's do our little handy trick and hit Apple I, go to get info. Wow. All right. The size is now 3.2 megabytes. It's reduced greatly. Let's take a listen. Let's have a little experiment here. We've got the WAV file. I'm going to play that, let you hear this. We'll listen to the intro and the verse, just a little bit of the verse, just to hear the audio. This is the WAV file, so uncompressed, non-MP3.
Barefoot in the kitchen, no matter what she was fixing, she'd sing the recipe. Flour on her apron, no matter what the occasion, she had her specialty.
All right. Now here's the iTunes version, the MP3 version we just made. Let's highlight that and take a listen.
Barefoot in the kitchen, no matter what she was fixing, she'd sing the recipe. Flour on her apron, no matter what the occasion, she had her specialties.
Great. So there you have it. We have just converted a WAV file to an MP3. Let me know in the comments section of this tutorial if there's anything I can help you with, if any questions about doing this, if I skipped something and just didn't pay attention. And then lastly, if there's any other subjects or topics you'd like me to cover, feel free to let me know. Drop me a line at email jgarnerprod@gmail.com. That's JGARNERP as in Peter, ROD as in dog @gmail.com. Let me know how I can help you, and we'll look forward to next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.